Hey guys, I'm Dr. Zainab Vora, and I'm thrilled to have Dr. Prarthana with me, who has secured a rank 282 in this NEET PG exam. Very, very well done. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm really happy. Most importantly, I'm very happy to share the screen with you.
Mhm.
I thank you so much because you are the one who has held our hands. You've been the best senior, best guiding light to have held our hands and taking us through these challenging times. Really, thanks to you.
So
You
thank
have made this journey of ours yours. So much efforts you have put into what you do, and this has just made our life so simple and easy.
Thank you. I do take it as my own journey, and that is why I take your results as my result. And this makes me so, so happy, that so many of you have done so wonderfully well, because it indeed was my journey along with you guys. And, I take it as a responsibility of taking you over to the other side. And I'm so happy that that happened. So if we can talk about your journey from MBBS, where did you do your MBBS from? How was that like for you? What was the base? And then, how did you follow it up?
Yeah, I'm from 2017 batch. I did from MBBS from Bangalore Medical College. I have been a decent student throughout.
Yeah.
This is my second attempt. In my first attempt during my internship, it was quite hectic.
Yeah.
I did not prepare that well, but I managed to get 2.1K in NEET, and then I had 1.5 months for INR.
Yeah.
Then I got 92 there, and I
Wow.
joined residency at AIIMS Delhi.
Oh,
Uh,
really? Okay. Which department?
Option 9, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
I really loved the department there and the atmosphere of AIIMS Delhi.
Yeah.
But I felt that this was not my calling, and I
Yeah.
was more inclined towards being in touch with all the subjects. So
Hmm.
I decided to do radiology. So I
Yeah.
took a drop after 3 to 4 months,
Yeah.
and then I started preparing again with cerebellum.
Okay.
Uh,
Amazing. So before we even talk about the next part of your preparation, what led to rank 92, if we can talk about that? So I'm sure because you cleared it so quickly after your internship, so soon after internship, your base would have been very strong, I believe. So
yeah, ma'am.
what were the resources during MBBS? Did you prepare your notes already, or how was the approach till then, if we can know?
I actually started my preparation from third year, ma'am. But in first and second prof, I would read all the standard textbooks then too, like Guyton for physio and Robbins for patho. From third year, I started with Marrow because I knew that since beginning. I used the printed notes, and
Mhm.
then I used to add points to that back then.
Okay.
So initially, actually, during my third year, I was confused between USMLE versus NEET PG. So my first and second profs I did with first aid, I did the USMLE preparation. I think that gave an edge while keeping INI last year. And then my final profs were also good. And then I focused on clinics when I was in final year.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, that helped.
Always been
Then
a good student, and read textbooks, good base. I think USMLE prep, as you said, would have played a role because you get that knack of solving MCQs, I believe.
true, mom.
Great. So all of that led up to an amazing rank, and now you left a seat. I'm sure at that time inside you there is that part, a small or a big part, you can tell us, which tells you that what if it doesn't happen again? So
Yeah.
how what was the thought process like?
Yeah, ma'am. Then your picture came into light significantly in my life, and my parents' support, my friends' support really played a major role.
Yeah.
Uh, so I had listened to one of your interviews back then before leaving, like
Mhm.
how you had also secured an amazing rank, but you were sure you wanted, you knew what you wanted, so you prepared again. So that was one motivating factor, and I started my journey like that.
Yeah.
And I always loved studying. So plus BTR is something it's very fun to study anytime, any day. Motivating. I made it a point to give GTs at least once in 10 days or once in 7 days. That way you will be on track,
Hmm.
and you will keep improving.
So you were giving ENDs, which were cerebellum mission ENDs as well, and you were giving BTR ENDs as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Amazing. So lots of MCQ practice basically, and I think that's fun, as you said, that you
Hmm.
solve MCQs, whatever are the mistakes when, somebody comes and explains. I think that's a much easier way than to go through the solutions yourself. I think that's something which
True, mom.
does help. And it's passive, a kind of passive, active plus passive. So it's not very taxing, on a
Hmm.
student. Great. So you did GTs. So basically lot of MCQ practice and not too much theory. The theory
Hmm.
just be BTR, bonus BTR, or anything else?
Whatever I had done last time, Marrow notes,
Yeah.
especially for the major subjects, I would
Correct.
do that.
Right.
And I had taken the cerebellum mission plan as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for medicine, Dilip sir's videos I had watched. It's
Yeah.
really amazing. I love the flow charts he gives and explains. Otherwise, your integrated systems is more than enough. I used to just watch it for fun.
Amazing. So, I mean, you had a base of notes previously. You had mission for selective important subjects. You gave ENDs, which gives you the MCQ exposure. You had BTR as concise source. So, I think you ticked off every box there, and amazing. And you had the confidence. I think that confidence also matters when you have a rank.
True.
I
Hmm.
know how to give an exam. That confidence is very important for a student. So great. So amidst all of the uncertainty that this year, particularly last few months, threw at us, how were you able to cope up with it? Because you would have that time pressure more than others, I guess, because you had left the seat. So how did you cope up with all of this?
As I said, ma'am, my parents were really supportive. Actually, my mom's an OBGYN.
Oh, okay. How was
So
what
when
her opinion when you didn't want to pursue that?
she was okay with it, ma'am. She wanted me to pursue what I loved more.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
she knew the cons and pros of this her specialty.
of course, yeah,
Yeah, ma'am. So I would meditate, I would go for a walk, I would pursue my hobbies if I was feeling
yeah,
low. And then your motivational videos, I would watch some of the Ashirwad classes,
yeah.
and that would give me an idea. Okay, this is what will come at me during my exam day. This is how I have to be. I would process that in my mind, sometimes even before giving GTs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very important, to get that mindset because you give GTs in a very relaxed state of mind, nothing to lose. Exam day, suddenly you have so much pressure that you keep second guessing yourself in every question, which you have to learn. You have to learn not to do that by giving the GTs like it's an actual exam. Great, and also you talked about a lot of other non-academic interests that you continue to pursue, which students should also keep in mind. Don't let this become very unidimensional because it takes a toll on you. It's a very long journey. So keep a balance in your life, and that is what you said, and that's something which is very important, which we usually tend to ignore, amidst all of the study advice. Yeah, go on.
Ma'am, also I'd like to add to this. Like I have heard of this theory of 3H. Like once you have something in your head that if it has to come to your heart, mainly the wishes that has to come to reality, it has to go through another H that is the heart. So once you put your heart into it and once you love your journey every single day and you put your 100%, like you do everything in life, but put your 100% and be satisfied by the end of the day. I think that is more than enough. Whenever the exam comes, that is external forces, but you know you have done your part.
Absolutely. Very well said. Because we take so much pressure, and I've most of the time seen that being counterproductive. The pressure never really gives a positive reinforcement. So it's very important that you love this journey, you love what you're doing. Because if you don't, frankly, there are many other options, in today's this is no longer something that you have to do. There are so many options now in today's day and age. So please do what you love. Life is very, very short, to just keep studying unidimensionally. Don't do that. But if you enjoy studying like I do, I'm still a student, so if you do enjoy it, go on and do it with a smile on your face. Great. So if we cut to the exam day, how was that? Like which shift? How was the paper for you?
I was in first shift, ma'am. So I thought the exam would be a little on the easier side since because of the postponements. And I am someone who would screw up the easy paper by doing silly mistakes. So I had prepared myself not to make any silly mistakes.
Yeah.
So when the exam started, the language was different. I
Mm.
initially had palpitations. I had pressure on myself that I had to perform.
Mm.
But then I kept telling myself, just do your part. The result will come, just do your part. And then I kept going through the questions. Some questions were challenging, some questions were one liners. You have to read every word of the question, that is very important. And read options, rule it out, and then you will have definitely have a confusion between the two options. And there will be more pressure when there are more questions where you're confused between the two options,
Mm.
because there is 50% chances you will be right, 50% you will be wrong. Yeah, ma'am. So I like when you're doing every session, you will keep the tougher ones in the end.
Mm.
So the idea of the exam after solving all the five sets is okay. Those tough questions will be in your head. So I was initially confused when the exam was over. I
Yeah.
felt okay. I didn't give my best, even if the result, whatever the result comes, it's on me. And then I watched Recall just vaguely. I didn't calculate the score or anything. And then I thought, okay, I have done decently well.
Nice. You have done more than decently well, let me tell you that. One thing I want to go back to is those questions where you are confused between two options. I think this is one of the most commonly asked question to me that, ma'am, what to do? And I end up marking the wrong answer most of the times. But I feel that's a pseudo opinion. That is not true
Hmm.
because we remember the wrong ones out of those 50%, but we don't remember the ones we got correct. So I think that's a
Yeah,
common
mom.
mindset that whenever I'm confused between two, I end up choosing the wrong. No, you're just remembering the wrong ones. As you said,
Hmm.
50% odds. You just have to be more than 50% and you are in net positive, in such.
Hmm.
So what was your take on this when you were confused in the actual exam? How did you end up choosing one option?
I would see which option fits the answer more likely,
Hmm.
or the other option which I'm trying to fit.
Hmm.
Sometimes what we do is we try to fit the other option. We know it's wrong, but we try to fit that option as the right answer. But the answer is sometimes obvious. You have to pay attention to certain words there and certain words in the question as well. You will reach the right answer. And also, even in some of the memory based questions, you will have to choose the right thought, I feel. You
Hmm.
would have studied so much all through your med school, and then during your 1 year of preparation phase, it'll come to you. It'll be there deep down in you. You have to choose the right thought. For
Yeah.
that, you have to be calm, I feel.
Absolutely. And you also said that you had palpitations, so that shows that even people who are very well prepared, you've had good exam experience, you are a good student, even you got nervous, right? So this happens to a lot of students, happens to toppers as well as students who don't end up doing well. And that time I feel it's you and your thoughts which play
Hmm.
the important role as to what are you telling yourself. Are you telling yourself you're screwed and now exam is gone, or are you telling yourself, no, never mind, this happens, is normal, let's do this? That makes the difference. What do you
Hmm.
want to say on that?
True, ma'am. Definitely. What we choose, choosing the right thoughts is important, not just in an exam, but all throughout our life and career. I think that has to come with practice. We can't just do it during the exam. So, any situation that comes your way, make that practice of doing the right thinking, choosing the right thoughts, I feel.
Amazing. Amazing. Such a nice, pleasant persona you have. Let me first tell you that. And I love your.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Please give my regards to your family as well. I'm sure they're very, very proud of you. If you have to give a shout out to your friends, your family, the final words that you want to have.
Yes, ma'am. Like I can't keep on naming everyone. I would say I know them. They'll know whom I'm referring to. Huge shout out to my family, Almighty God, firstly, family, friends, and the whole Cerebellum team and all the professors there. They're truly gems. And Apur sir's motivational Mondays were amazing. Like it would keep you on like track. Like you would keep us on track in terms of preparation, but he would keep us in track in terms of our thoughts and
Yes.
how we approach our life. So that was
You know
really
how
helpful.
how in BTR, like every line has some essence behind it. If you look at Apur sir's every line, it would have a very very deep meaning. And it does take a lot of time. I still I am his student and he's my mentor. So I still learn so much from him as to the way of life, and I think this is such a great opportunity for students to interact with him. Every Monday he comes live on YouTube. So so much to learn, because there are so many things in this journey which you have to take together. And I think this is a very important transition phase for you guys, where you are getting evolved into adulthood. I know you are already adults, but you are maturing through this phase. A lot goes through in your mind, and I've seen people evolve into different kind of personalities at the end of this. So it's so important to have the right kind of people around you and the right kind of energy around you, and I think sir ensures that beautifully. Yes, go on.
So, I'm really glad that I have had the right kind of energy around me, the positive force.
Yes, amazing. So proud of you, and thank you so much for talking to us. And please do guide the students. I'm sure they're gonna come up with follow up questions in the comments. So you can always get back to them.
For anyone who is listening to this, whichever year you are in, the right time to start is now. Whatever you're studying, make sure the encoding happens properly. Like study and understand then and there. And then whichever resource you follow, it's fine, but you have to supplement it with BTR, I feel, or any resource that will concise and make it crisp in the end.
Yeah.
That is what is important for the last 10 days before the exam. Because whatever you do during your 1 year or 4 months or 2 months of preparation, whatever you do in the last 10 days matters the most. And previous year questions and previous year topics are a high yield. The last time when I prepared, I could do it in 2 months, 3 months span is because I did the previous year questions first before even reading the main notes.
Hmm.
Having a foundation of med school, I did the previous year question first. So then I would know where I lacked. And when I went back to the notes and studied that, that would stay in my mind for a longer time.
Hmm.
So when you're doing it for the first time, make sure you do it well because that will stay in your mind for a longer time. And then make sure you give GTs at least every 10 days initially. That will keep you in track and you will have an idea how to solve the questions, how to approach on an exam day. Even if, and your GT mistakes, you have to divide into the ones which are silly, which
Yeah.
you which you did because of your trouble in understanding, and the mistakes that you had done because they were just recall errors. Make
Hmm.
sure all those recall errors goes into choti copies, and understanding error you have to get it done then and there. Ah,
Wonderful. This is exactly what I tell the students as to how to review the GT. You've exactly said that, and I'm so happy, that you've done this process really well, and you have triaged the information very well. When you said you start with previous year question, I think that's very important, because it's not that that question is gonna come as is. You're not doing it for that. You'll know what are the focus areas, so you can't do everything. So you always have to know where your focus should be. And another problem you highlighted was, okay, first cycle, I will just make notes blindly. Second cycle, I will revise. There's nothing like that. Do it right now. Whatever you are doing right now, understand and finish it like there is no tomorrow, like you're not going to see it again. So that really helps. Great. Thank you.
Also, ma'am, if I may highlight, during my INI set preparation, I had a lot of pressure on me. So I focused a lot on recent updates and new information, new
Mhm.
drugs and all. Really, that won't help that much.
Yes.
So focus on the basics. That's
Yeah.
most important.
Because end of the day, even if you get one or two questions from those, that don't really change your rank. It's the other questions, if you get them wrong, the one that everybody is studying, that drastically takes your rank behind. So you don't want that. So don't run after updates. I think that's also a misconception about INI that people have. If you
Mm.
compare this NEET exam with INI, did you feel there was any difference in the
Uh,
level of prep?
Ma'am, actually, preparation for both the exams is almost similar. Only I feel even the FMG exam, the
Mm.
important topics are the same, but the language of questions is different.
Yeah.
This time I felt during INI, the language of question was like NEET, and
Yeah.
NEET paper, the language of question was like INI.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the topics are almost the same. It's most of the questions, 150 questions around, will be from previous year questions, previous year topics, expected ones.
Correct.
Um,
Yeah. So goes on to highlight, just focus on the important stuff, and then you keep broadening your horizons. Once you are sorted, keep increasing, but not at the expense of the core, you know. So that is the bottom line. Great. Thank you so much for sharing those insights. I'm sure, you know, students are going to be greatly benefited by those. Thank you so much.
Thank you
And
so much for having me, mom. It's
most
wonderful talking to you.
same
I'm
here.
so blessed.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Hi, mom.